Hello and welcome to another exciting video. This is from one of my own games played on liches. I was playing black. And I've been checking out this interesting variation called the Rousseau Gambit, which you can employ against the Italian game. The game was played like this. White played pawn to e4, black responded with pawn to e5, and then white made the most popular move here, knight f3, and black responded with the knight c6. White starts the Italian game with the standard bishop c4 move, and now people have been suggesting generally do not open up the f line with f6 or f5. I was very interested to see what happens, and I played it anyway. Played the move pawn to f5, very dubious move, and white proceeded with their own attack, pawn to d4. So what's the idea behind this move? They are opening up their bishop to place on one of these squares. That's one idea. And they're also grabbing some more space on the center, and they're attacking this pawn. They're attacking this pawn. Their bishop is pointing to the weak f7 square. They may want to jump with their knight, and they may want to jump with their queen, and bang bang. That's probably the idea of white. And now black simply is ready to face all these attacks and grabs this pawn. F takes e4. White responds with knight takes e5. They are now looking at this weak square. They want to bring the knight here and fork the queen and the rook. Their bishop is supporting this f7 square, and soon they want to bring their queen here, also attacking the f7 square, and maybe they also want to bring their bishop into the attack, and it looks like black is under tremendous pressure here. But how can black respond here? Well, one way is to neutralize this menacing bishop's attack. So I played pawn to d5. So there's only one attacker on the f7 square right now. And with this move, I'm also attacking the bishop on c4. So white has to do something about it. And white didn't care about their bishop. They continued to play it with queen h5 with check. They immediately want to come here and probably want to deliver a checkmate. And if g6 is played, they also probably want to take with their knight. And remember, this pawn is pinned. The h7 pawn is pinned. It cannot take on j6. If black does it, then black is probably going to lose the rook. That is white's idea. But can this really work for white? Now, I played the move g6, defending the check. White immediately pounds to knight takes g6. That's their idea. This pawn is pinned. If pawn takes, they can take the rook. If I don't do anything about it, I'm facing multiple problems. Knight takes rook with a discovered check here, lots and lots of problems, and White probably thought they could temporarily ignore this attack. Fortunately, there is one life-saving move here for black. So played knight f6, attacking the queen on h5, and essentially black is saying to white, you go ahead and take my rook, I'll go ahead and take your queen. And notice that the bishop is also hanging here. Now white thought for a while, and then they played queen h4, saying, I still maintain the pin on this pawn. You really can't take it, because if you take, I'll take the rook on h8. Seems very aggressive and very interesting for white. But white has continued to ignore the problems in the center. The bishop is attacked, and this pawn is attacked. The d4 pawn is attacked, and can black create some counterplay here? And I played knight takes d4. It's exactly what I wanted. So essentially now what black has is attack on this bishop, attack on the c2 pawn, which in turn forks the king and the rook, and black wants to give away this rook on h8 for this interesting attack in the center of the board. So white went for it. White went for the rook, saying, go ahead and take my bishop or attack my c2. I'll just take your rook, and I'll probably even bring my bishop into the attack and pin this or put more pressure on the f6 knight, and I'll somehow take my knight on h8 back safely. So that's what probably white was thinking. And now, so I continued with my original attack. Knight takes c2, check, and forking this king and the rook, and notice that the bishop is still hanging. This point, white played king d1, attacking the knight. So white is probably saying, you take my bishop, I'll take your knight. Or white is saying, if you take the rook, and I will probably trap this knight and escape with my bishop here. I played pawn takes c4 with a discovered check. I don't mind losing that knight. And what could white do? White simply took. King takes c2, and now the fatal check. Queen d3, checkmate. What a beautiful, quick game. Very interesting Rousseau Gambit. So white tries to attack the open f7 square with all their three pieces, from their bishop, from their knight, and from their queen. White actually got something, but the counterplay of black was so strong, so they couldn't manage the attack on the center, on the queen side of the board, where king was not castled, and they went for the attack. They opened up the center and tried to do some trade of risks. Unfortunately, it turned out in black's favor. So very interesting game and very interesting study. Thank you for watching. I hope that was a really enjoyable game.